We're all in this together.
No, we're clearly not. Hoppers, despite being a successful and entertaining movie that I and my family enjoyed, I find myself asking, what was even the point? Whenever you make a piece of film or literature, your story should have a message that's clear to the reader, either directly stated as in allegories, or indirectly shown as the world and the characters' decisions reveal themselves. But instead, I feel like this meme actually ended up being more of an inspiration for this movie than the creators even realized.
Lizard.
Now, as I analyze this brilliant piece of film, I will be discussing some mild spoilers, although I'm not sure this movie can be spoiled. It's a comedy with a fairly surface level plot, and I knew quite a bit was going to happen from watching clips on Twitter even before I saw it, but I was still entertained. To its credit, don't get me wrong, the movie stands on its own fairly well. So should you watch it? I'll tell you from the get-go, yes. In fact, hit pause, don't you dare close that tab, then come back and finish this video so I don't sit here and cry at my analytics. Now, these aren't so much formally organized into a massively coherent narrative as they are nitpicks I have with the film, and these nitpicks translate towards a problem I see in filmmaking in general, as well as in our culture. So, strap in. The movie starts off with Mabel being an annoying pest of an activist that becomes so annoying that her parents drop her off with Grandma.
Mom, I gotta get back to work. Can you anchor for a few hours? Thanks. Bye!
And the problem with the plot just start from here, right in the opening scenes, because this never comes up again. There's no true redemption arc where Mabel fixes everything and gets her parents back. No, they just up and leave, and her grandma dies and bam, she's in college. Like, huh? So any angle of this being about a family is immediately gone right at the start. And it's important because isn't this supposed to be a family film? Where are the themes of family? And that gets right into the second problem immediately. We're still in the first 5 minutes of film. Grandma is just a narrative device. She's not really a person. We don't know enough about her past. We don't see her in action. She's just the Yoda to Luke, if Luke was a raging eco-terrorist bent on self-destruction. And just like Yoda on Dagobah, when her time came, poof, she dies. She's gone.
My time has come.
A summoner has disconnected.
Like, I get using cliches. Cliches aren't always bad, but they use Grandma Tanaka constantly as like this emotional anchor for Mabel. Like every time Tanaka comes on screen as a flashback, I'm just sitting here like, why? I'm not connected to this person. I don't care. I have no idea who they are. And frankly, I think Grandma was an eco-terrorist too, so I have even less reason to relate. And the way the movie presented her, it seems like she used the last years of her life trying to teach her granddaughter how to not get caught. Yeah. And speaking of eco-terrorists, Mabel, the main character, is unlikable. She never becomes likable. Throughout the movie, she constantly rages, destroys everything, ruins people's lives, kills the wildlife she's supposed to protect, and destroys property. Like at no point did they make a proper justification to say that any property that she destroyed was ever illegal. In fact, they kind of seem to have gone out of their way to make sure that you understood that everything that was happening was completely legal. It was a very odd take to have. Now sure, it's funny, but her character arc throughout the story ends up going something like, starts off as a little rage monster, has a short jaunt being an eco-terrorist, and ends up just being a common, ordinary nuisance. Is that supposed to be growth? Or is that just a sequence of the world adapting to her ridiculous antics? In the end, she doesn't go to prison, she doesn't pay fines, she graduates college and just works as a scientist. And in my opinion, this reveals that the show teaches that if you live out your urges, everything will be fine. And I'm sorry, that can't be further from the truth. Now, this might be a self-insert problem when incongruencies like this show up in films. Normally, it's proof that someone on the writing team wanted to be an activist when they were young, or perhaps had anger problems and wanted to use the film to put their ideas into the world, or, oh, okay. But this message, while encapsulated in a funny movie, isn't good. Mabel never properly controls her anger. It's never something she actually gets over or learns to get past or learns to work around or move beyond. Sure, whenever she loses it, she thinks back to the meditation her grandma taught her.
Inner peace.
In a grand effort to control her rage by just imagining herself as one with everything.
This sounds a bit weird.
This is often after the worst possible sequence of events has occurred, to force her to slightly think rationally for a few seconds. Because what actions does she actually do to make her life better? None. Not a single one. She is wholly self-destructive. She is bent on being self-destructive. And that brings you to the next problem. Mabel is a static character. Throughout the show, Mabel moves completely on impulse from one moment to the next. Even when you think she finally has a turning point and has learned to stop destroying people's lives. And things have truly gotten out of hand with a literal flying shark, which is actually kind of funny.
Beaver, I suggest you leave the vehicle.
She continues to be the definition of a chaotic good character. Does she finally capitulate and apologize to the mayor for almost killing him? No. When she doesn't get what she wants, well, then she calls the kill squad back to finish the job.
He's down here!
Woohoo! We didn't learn anything. Learned absolutely nothing. Great character writing.
What?
No, to be fair, this was kind of played off for laughs, but it gives an insight into the writer's mind, because what they played off for laughs was something that was potentially a good character growth moment. A moment for Mabel to mature. I would argue that it harms the character overall. Static characters aren't immediately bad now, but there should be a good reason to have them in the first place. For instance, imagine a lone wanderer who's killing bad guys at the beginning of the film, beats up the antagonist, and goes back to wandering in the end. It's called a flat character arc or a steadfast protagonist. An example would be James Bond, Sherlock Holmes, Jack Reacher, and in these instances, the characters don't really learn that much, but they transform the world around them in a good way. Instead of the environment forcing a change onto them, they are the change.
I am the one who knocks.
But the reason characters like that work, in my opinion, is because either that character is strong and compelling, or there's a lot of action, so nobody cares.
Here's a gun.
Now this might fall into the latter of the two because Mabel is not strong and compelling. She's literally annoying from beginning to end. But I do not think this is good writing because this next issue that I have of the film, and compared to all the others, it's the worst one by far. Ask yourself, is eco-terrorism shown in a good light? Yes and no. Is the mayor shown in a good light? Yes and no. Are the animals shown in a good light?
Good guess, but actually no.
Like, what? Is there no morality in this film to speak of? Is it just a thing that happened in a town because reasons and stuff? That's the feeling I get here. There is no morality.
Like world peace or whatever.
The conclusion of this film is something like, everyone has their place. The animals have their place. The mayor encroaching on land has his place. The eco-terrorist has their place in being a nuisance little activist literally affecting nothing in the world. I'm sorry, this kind of amoralism, where it just doesn't matter what you are as long as you stay in your lane and do your part, is literally immoral. Because according to this philosophy, there is no actual right and wrong. Just take a ball of moral ideas and fling them out the wall. As long as they all stick, we're good. It's almost like this movie was written by one of those people who like splash tomato juice on the Stonehenge and then dance around, naked for attention, screaming about climate change. Congratulations. You didn't accomplish anything, everyone hates your cause more, you proved to everyone once again that you continue to be insufferable, and you wasted the court's time, who are probably going to let you off with a slap on the wrist for some unknown reason. I'm sure the minimum wage earner who has to meticulously wipe off the tomato juice or spray paint or whatever really appreciates all that activism. And that's the problem. From a certain aspect, the film almost romanticizes this sad excuse for activism. It basically rewards it by creating a set of circumstances where there are just no consequences. I think the film would have been better if they just picked a lane and stayed with it. Either go all in on the mayor bad angle and have Mabel legitimately save the glade without destroying half the forest in the process, and they should have actually had the mayor doing something legitimately illegal. He shouldn't have been just a nice guy who's just really annoyed by this activist and is trying to help the city by putting a highway through there that they actually need and want. No. They should have had him actually doing something illegal, something that was objectively wrong. Or they should have gone all in on the redeeming arc angle and actually have her face consequences. And after paying for her crimes, then she gets to go off and maybe under the custody of the science lady, I think her name was Dr. Samantha, who invented the hopper in the first place. You could even add a quick joke in the end where Mabel is all like, "And I lived happily ever after. After 1,000 hours of community service, my house that used to be grandma's got repossessed. I went bankrupt multiple times. I got kicked out of college. But hey, at least the judge was lenient in the end because I saved the city from a fire." That they didn't know I started. Now I'm back to work with Dr. Samantha, helping her work on her latest invention, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. See, that is a much more compelling ending because even though it's a comedy, everything is just here for laughs, it's at least grounded in something that makes sense. If I told you I lassoed the sun and pulled it into the palm of my hand and ate it for lunch, That wouldn't make any sense to you, would it? That's not a compelling story. But if I say I miniaturized the moon and held it in the palm of my hand as part of a heist because I'm a mad scientist who can do ridiculous things, that would make sense. And we know it does. Despicable Me did it. And that's why the moral messaging of the film is all over the place. It's not a moral message at all. It's whatever goes, goes. You're part of the collective, so as long as you're in your lane, it's fine.
We're all in this together.
And that's why the parents never came back. Because it's not about her being part of a family. It's about her being part of the world. And I'm sorry, being part of everything, that's not really a message. In fact, that doesn't really mean anything. Congratulations, you belong to the universe. Wow! I belong to the universe? Yes. Don't get too excited now. Now I may say, Song, you're thinking about this way too hard. It's just a comedy, but let's be real. That's why you come here. I overthink everything. So what does this have to do with culture? Everything. Hoppers is a film that is both a product of our culture and an instigator of it. It solidifies the idea that activism is okay, even when it accomplishes nothing. All because we just feel good about it. We feel that we're making a difference. It forwards the concept that it's alright to learn basically nothing in the world, and that acting on impulse is alright because it'll just magically work out. And don't worry, you don't need to work on your character or your charisma or learn how to persuade or appeal to people. You can just be insufferable pests because at least your heart is in the right place. At least you feel that you're doing good. But I'm sorry, dear viewer, these are not morals that I want to see more of in the world. In a culture that already lacks restraint. We don't need less restraint. That's not a problem that we have. We need more discipline, more respect, and well, more parents. You know, the ones who just dropped Mabel off at grandma's and said, have fun, she's your problem now. Yeah, we need more of those parents actually involved in their children's lives. Because in the end, it's ultimately confusing who the movie was for in the first place. By not defining the morality of the film, by not taking a lane of whose side to actually be on or what to definitively put forward as opposed to just being part of everything, it fails to nail down an audience. But hey, that was probably on purpose. Is it a movie? There's no family aspect. They killed that off in the opening scene. Is it for kids? Probably, but all the gags are completely over their heads. Like, I can't think of a single thing that a kid would get out of this except flying sharks, beavers, bill cool dams, and lizard.
Baseball, huh? No, what?
Lizard.
Is it for young adults? Probably. Is it for adults? Definitely. So I guess it's really just fun for everyone, all age groups and demographics. The only prerequisite is that you just turn your brain off.
Relax. Just let go.
So for a film to be targeted at no one in particular and to forward no particular ideas, this one did pretty well. So I guess some congratulations are in order. I give it 7 Narshnogs out of 10 Yum Yums.
They're everywhere!
But if you want to see more media critiques like this one I did about how Freeman is a more Lord of the Rings story than Rings of Power, click here. Otherwise, whether it's your first time here or you're a returning viewer, thanks for stopping by, and well, I'll see you again next time. Bye!
Lizard.